Solana's ecosystem is moving fast. In this video, we'll break down some of the most promising projects, explore the fundamentals, and look at the technicals behind the momentum, plus the narratives you don't want to miss. In this breakdown of the Solana ecosystem, we'll take a closer look at how AI infrastructure is evolving on-chain by comparing Nosana and Render. We'll also examine the strengths and roles of Solana's two leading DEXs, Jupiter and Raydium. To round things up, we'll dive into the key protocols like Jito, Pyth, Wormhole, and Drift, and how they fit into the broader narrative. As we run through these protocols and dApps, we'll be giving a glance to the charts to identify the key levels and trends that matter from a long-term macro perspective. Welcome back to Prodigal Son Crypto, where we sharpen up our technical and fundamental skills to build passive income, achieve financial freedom, and ride the market like seasoned pros. Let's start with Solana itself. In a nutshell, Solana is a high-performance blockchain designed for fast, low-cost transactions and scalable decentralized applications. It uses a unique consensus mechanism called Proof of History, POH, combined with Proof of Stake, POS, to achieve high throughput and low latency, making it ideal for NFTs, DeFi, and other on-chain apps. So its most popular use cases for Solana are DeFi, fast, cheap transactions, make it ideal for DEXs like Jupiter and Raydium. NFTs, Solana is home to major NFT platforms like Magic Eden, Tensor, and payments, projects like Solana Pay enable instant low-cost crypto payments. Gaming, GameFi projects leverage Solana's speed in real-time interactions. AI and compute, emerging use cases like Nosana, focus on decentralized compute for AI tasks. And you've got staking and liquid staking, protocols like Jito, Marinade offer efficient ways to stake SOL. And you can earn yield doing that. Now, here's an overview of that ecosystem. I'd say if you're looking to build a solid Solana portfolio, it would be good to look into each field, do a deep dive on those projects, and build a diversified bag of Solana projects. And you can do this with any chain you are looking to invest in. Pick a DEX, a DeFi, an AI, or an RWA project, maybe a meme coin or two for fun. By doing this, you're giving yourself full exposure to the ecosystem. But for some risk management, please consider weighting by market cap. For example, have 50 to 80% in the layer 1 token SOL. And so because Solana's it's more than likely it's a multi-cycle bet. It's got a strong future ahead. We cannot say this for all the other projects built on here. As there's always going to be, the next shiny new coin launching in each cycle. And the state of Solana for Q4 2024 was, so this is a report on Masari. This was only put up here on the 5th of February 2025, so it's not that old. The key insights here state the chain GDP on Sol, total application revenue grew by 213% Q on Q, from 268 million to 840 million. November was the largest month. I bet it was. You know how strong the crypto markets were back in November, bringing in 367 million in revenue to applications on the protocol. Applications are generating more revenue than real economic value, REV, on Sol, 840 million to 819 million for at least 3 quarters in a row. So I'd like to see what the data is for Q1 of 2025. Perhaps I can update you that on an upcoming video. But Solana also became the second biggest chain by DeFi TVL with 8.6 billion at quarter's end, a 213% increase Q on Q. So Anza officially released the Agave V2, and has a greater than 90% of the network is now running on this updated client. The liquid staking rate on Solana, the percentage of liquid staked SOL increased by 33% Q on Q to 11.2%. So some positive data there, positive numbers. I know that might go over a lot of your heads there and might not seem that relevant, but what I'm trying to get across to everyone by just mentioning some of those points is this is a strong blockchain. It's growing fast. I think it's going to flip Ethereum at some point. It all depends on how Ethereum does for the rest of the cycle. But if it carries on the way it's going, even if Ethereum, starts making a move up, Solana's just looking so much stronger. And then you've got other chains as well, that I'd say are up there as well, with taking that market share from Ethereum. So at time of recording, Solana's now got a market cap of 69.69 billion, and a fully diluted value of 80 billion. Yeah. Total supply of tokens is 599 million SOL, and the circulating supply is 516 million SOL. So a lot of the circulating supplies out there, you always hear people or read on X, people saying the tokens are unlocking, sell, the sell pressure is going to be too much. From what I've seen, tokenomics are important, but I would say as long as you've got a good large amount of the supply out there, it's reducing the risk. But getting particular over whether it's 10% of the supply out there, 20%, it's neither here nor there. I don't think so anyway, because you then also have to understand the token vesting schedule and where are all those tokens. So yes, I would recommend, if you're really looking to invest in projects, look into that stuff for sure. But I would say don't let it hold you back from making an investment, because there could be a token out there with all of the supply out there, yeah, but then they pull the liquidity. So what I mean? You've got to judge the project as it is, its fundamentals, as well as its technicals and tokenomics. So the price of Solana is up 16,093% all time. From the year, down 9.3%. For the month, it's up 4.1%. And for the week, it's up 3.25%. Now, Solana for DeFi, this is DeFi Llama. And some of these that you'll see on the chart here, we've got in yellow, we've got the token price. In red, we've got the token volume. In blue, we've got the TVL. And in green, we've got the token market cap. What you can see clearly here is one follows the other. We don't know which one leads what, but I know from experience that tokens that have got bullish price action or vice versa, bullish, on-chain data, they seem to track. I've seen this before. You can see it done it in the 2021 cycle here. Yeah, and it's done it again here in 2024, 2025. And as you can see, not only has the price tanked, so has the on-chain data. So when you're looking at on-chain data on a protocol, you've got to judge it as you can't think, the TVL is down, the volume's down, the price is down. Yeah, that kind of all happens together. Just like the YouTube viewers are down, subscribers are down, Twitter activity's down, all of this stuff. It's when there's a correction in the markets, everything corrects. So going by the fact that I believe that there's more to this cycle, I believe this is a correction here, and we will see. It might be something similar to down here. You saw it because you saw a surge in activity, right, back in 2020, yeah, and then you saw a deep correction before a big leg up. Now, I'm not saying we're going to get a big leg up like that, but this could be what's happening. It's a similar formation, yeah. It's like a reaccumulation formation, and that's entirely possible. So looking at the chart for Solana, as you can see, we've got this big macro trend of higher lows, and that goes back to May 2020. Yeah, so you can't argue with that. And you've got this newly formed. Well, I say newly formed. You've got around January, we had the 200-week EMA form, and if we zoom in, we can see Solana has held that nicely for a first point of contact with the 200-week EMA. Prices that looking at next, obviously I wouldn't want to see Solana lose this 200 EMA. I think that would be a bad look. I think losing this trend would be a bad look at this stage, particularly if it wasn't a higher low. So what we're looking for next for the upside, so I wouldn't want to see us go down there. At the moment, I want to see us hold above this 125 level. And then we appear to be breaking above the 134 level. And next up, I'd want to be hitting that 151 level. And I'd like to see some of these EMAs turn bullish, start seeing them crossing to the upside, and like I say, you've got 151, 179. Once you start getting above those levels, you're going to be running up towards the all-time highs, the local high, which was not a massive. No, it wasn't. It was like, look, the old all-time high of 2021 was around 260, yeah, and we tapped that once. I remember this happening earlier on, end of last year, and we tapped it again. And it was like, oh, it's going to go through. It's going to go through. No, we had to wait a number of weeks, and then we did break the all-time high. But just like you're expecting at that stage, I think it was January 2025. By this point, we're waiting for an alt season, and you're thinking that's going to, go to the moon or Valhalla or wherever you want it to go. But sadly not at the moment. But like I say, it's holding this nicely. It's definitely the strongest competitor to Ethereum. It's now, I think, the biggest blockchain in the world. Apart from, you've got Bitcoin, obviously, but for a smart contract platform, which you can do a lot with, Bitcoin is still very clunky. It's good as a store of value. It's great to trade. But for something like technology, Solana's killing it. And here on into the cryptoverse, we've got the Solana historic risk levels, and this is denominated to BTC. Okay, so it's almost like an alt season indicator for Solana to see how hot things are getting against Bitcoin. And as you can see in 2021, there was lots of red spells, lots of getting overheated, high risk levels, and it pushed us up into those highs. And then in the bear market, we dropped down into light blue, then into dark blue. And then we climbed back up and we got yellow. We got a couple of touches of orange. But then it's come down into this cool blue tone again. And don't be fearful. It doesn't mean it's necessarily going to go into this dark blue at all. Hopefully the markets are recovering now. And if they are, it could be something similar to here where we've had light blue. And then we've gone up, and it might be that we get dark blue again, but I should think that this should start to turn yellow. And if we zoom in now, let's go a bit closer, see what we're seeing. Let's reset that zoom, going closer. Yeah, it's that cool blue color. Hopefully you start getting into this turquoise, then into the yellow. And then, and then when you see, if you've got access into the cryptoverse, or, you want to subscribe to it, which I recommend, by the way, I strongly recommend that, because there's so many good charts and data on here. If you're getting into the red, these are times to take profits, If you're getting to light blues, dark blues, dark blue I'd expect to get in a bear market. Light blue, it's a good accumulation time, a great accumulation time probably, not financial advice, of course. And so, yeah, the historic risk level against BTC is showing us it's not experienced an alt season. Despite a significant increase in price, it was already running with Bitcoin as a meme coin season, and an AI interest was driving activity on chain narratives, and it saw an impressive volume of liquidity drawn to the network, launching memes and AI agent protocols. It never got too overheated, like in the red risk levels. And as we can see from the blue color, it's now things have cooled off somewhat. Like I say, good accumulation, probably. Speaking of AI, and in fact deepin, two of the leading AI and infrastructure plays for GPU power on Solana are Render and Nosana. They seem very similar and competitors at a glance, but let's break down their differences. So with Render, it's focused on GPU power, ideal for 3D rendering, VFX, graphics, and AI model training. Think Hollywood animation, AI generated visuals, and deep learning. Artists and developers, AI researchers, and studios that need heavy GPU processing. It's like a cloud rendering farm powered by a decentralized network. Originally on Ethereum, it migrated to Solana in 2024 for its speed and lower fees. Nosana, focused on CI/CD and AI, it enables developers to run jobs like AI inference or code testing in a decentralized way. Think DevOps tasks, training smaller models, or verifying smart contracts. Its users are AI startups, blockchain development teams, open source projects, anyone who needs CPU-based compute for building and running applications. Built natively on Solana, optimized for the network speed and cost-effective efficiency. So Render and Nosana don't officially integrate or work together yet, but they can complement each other in the broader decentralized compute stack, kind of like teammates with different positions. So how they can complement each other, right, is Render is all about GPU intensive workloads, like generating high res visuals or training large AI models, whereas Nosana handles more CPU based tasks, like running code, pipelines, doing inference, or deploying microservices. Together, they can cover different layers of compute needs. So the workflow and who handles it best. So code testing, Asana, AI model training, Render, AI inference, Asana, and visual rendering, VFX, Render. So quite balanced there, quite balanced. So when we look at the chart, we can see that it's had this trend since 2020. Yeah, similar to Solana. You know, you've got a few higher lows there, creating an uptrend. You know, and I know I've got this line drawn here, it's going right through the middle there, because I can see there are some diagonal levels there to watch. So, you know, if we started getting up there, you know, it's possible. It is possible. You might laugh, but yeah, it is possible. You know, I think if it was to break through this $13 level, you know, this thing could go absolutely nuts. And, you know, it's holding above the 200 week EMA. It's dipped below it, yes, but now it's holding above. And it's fighting with this 430 level. So currently at 427, it's that level's at 437. As you can see, it's this was support here, and it's turning old support into resistance. You know, we fell through here, and now we're trying to break through again here. So if you get through this level at 437, your next level to watch is about 678. Yeah, and then if you get past there, you know, you're challenging all-time highs again. So moving on from Render to Nosana, Nosana is like a decentralized cloud computer for developers and AI projects. Instead of relying on big tech servers, it lets people share their spare computing power to run tasks like testing code and running AI models. In simple terms, imagine you're building an app or an AI project. Nosana helps you run that work using other people's computers automatically. It's useful for tasks like code testing, app development, or AI inference, things developers and startups need regularly. Its relationship with Solana is it was built natively on Solana, meaning it uses Solana's blockchain for all transactions. Solana gives Nosana fast speed and ultra low fees, which makes it perfect for handling small compute jobs. It's part of Solana's growing infrastructure and AI ecosystem, helping power the back end for dApps and AI builders. And it's currently sitting at a 38 million market cap with a fully diluted value of 78.8 million. Total supply is 100 million NOS, and the circulating supply is 48.19 million NOS. So around about 50% of the supply is out, but that means 50% of the supply is still locked and ready for unlocks. And yeah, I mean, I would say you could do, if you're thinking about putting a lot of money into this, I'd say do your homework, look at the vesting schedule. But I've done a bit of fundamental research on this, watching the founders speak, looking at presentations, looking at the tech behind this, looking at the numbers behind this, and this seems like a legit project. And they're doing a lot of great things, and they've got a vesting schedule which unlocks the tokens over time. So the chances are that most of these tokens are not going to land in this cycle, and they're going to be released over years. So looking at this now on TradingView, we've got the price at 78 cents. It's held this level here at 54 cents quite well, and that was an area of resistance before. So it's flipped it into support, hopefully. And if we could start to reclaim this level of 148, then you'd be heading up to 417, and then you could look at perhaps challenging the all-time highs. So now you might be looking for a conclusion. What's better, Render or Nosana? Well, in my opinion, and what I've done myself, I hold both, because both are doing something uniquely special that will no doubt have an ever-growing demand as this technology advances. Render, with a higher market cap and has been around longer, gives me reassurance and my reasoning for a bigger bag of it than my Nosana holdings, obviously. But the potential upside of Nosana could be a huge opportunity that many are probably overlooking. Next up, DEXs. And before we start digging into the DEXs, let's look at the total DeFi TVL on Solana and where the capital is flowing or being locked, as it says. So here you go. You've got Raydium with 2.1 billion TVL. And this is as of 31st of December 2024, by the way. Camino Finance with 1.8 billion. Jupiter with 1.7 billion. And Drift with 803 million. Yeah. And then you've got a couple of others here. Save with 505 and Margin 5 with 349. But I always tend to look at the highest TVL numbers and see where the major part of the capital is held on Solana. And you've got the two DEXs, which I'm about to talk about, which is Raydium and Jupiter. So Raydium and Jupiter are the two major decentralized exchanges, DEXs, in the Solana ecosystem. So Raydium, what is it? So Raydium is an automated market maker and a liquidity provider, the kind of like the Uniswap for Solana. This key features, it lets users trade tokens, provide liquidity, and earn yield. It integrates with Serum's order book to combine the AMM liquidity with central limit order books. Offers yield, farming, staking, launch pads for new tokens. And its relationship with Solana is that it was built natively on Solana, taking full advantage of the speed and low fees once again. So one of the earliest and most established DEXs in the ecosystem. Yeah, and this is the DEX of Solana. Yeah, so if you haven't used this before, it's great on mobile as well. And you just go up here in the top right hand corner, you connect your wallet, and then you can swap Sol, you can swap USDC. You can swap it for tokens such as Raydium itself, and then it's got a whole list of altcoins here. But I would also always make sure you use something like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to get your contract address to use the correct one whenever using a DEX. I always advise that. Go to a big platform like CoinMarketCap, CoinGecko, where you can trust the links are legit, and then you can paste those addresses in there like it says. Yeah. And then, you could say you had, you got $500, yeah, and then that's going to get you 222 Raydium. If you had your wallet connected, you just do the swap there, and it's done. So this is how you use these DEXs, yeah. And for Raydium, the market cap is 651 million. Yeah, fully diluted value is 1.24 billion, and its TVL, it's got 1.2 billion here, and then its token supply it's got 554 million Ray, and its max supply is 555 million Ray, and the circulating supply is over 50%. It's more like 60%, 290 million Ray. So it has got unlocks to come as well. So you've always got to mention that. But you can see how it came down through the bear market. These were the bear market lows when it couldn't have got any worse for Raydium. And then it's climbed up. It's made quite a good rally from down here around in the cents, yeah, like 30, 40 cents, even went as low as nearly 15 cents at times. And then it's got up as high as, in this cycle, $6.10. And now it's down, at $2.20. It's down around roughly 66% from its highs. Could be a good buy right now. So let's go and have a look at the chart. So it's got really strong support here at 138, which has held a number of weeks at this level. Yeah, it's obviously taken a rally up and it's come back down to this level, and it seems to be holding it with multiple weeks again. So really strong support held at 138. It's likely heading to challenge 270. If you can get above 270, you can get some of these EMAs flipping bullish. Then 530s on the cards, all-time high of 880s on the cards. This thing could do really well. I like the structure of it. I'm happy with that. I'm seeing this as a bull market correction. If you start to see, obviously another shoulder forming here, because you could always say that's a shoulder, that's a head, that's a shoulder. You're going to have the bears calling out those types of patterns. But if we could start moving above here and holding weeks above 270, that's a good call to say this is looking good, So that's Raydium, and now we're moving on to Jupiter. So what is Jupiter? So Jupiter is a Solana top DEX aggregator. It finds the best prices across all Solana DEXs, including Raydium. Its key features: it routes your swap through multiple pools and DEXs for the best rates. Powers many Solana wallets and trading platforms under the hood. It's also expanding into limit orders, perpetuals, and LST integrations. And it was built specifically for Solana's architecture. It plays a central role in liquidity routing and is considered a core infrastructure on Solana. So similar to Raydium, this is what DEXs look like. If you don't know, if you haven't used them, there's a lot of people in crypto that have never really played for DEX, which is quite surprising, really, because you see these people are watching a lot of content, they're reading a lot of content. They're investing in the tokens. Like there'll be people, all right, they might not be buying Jupiter or Raydium, but they might be buying Solana, and they haven't really tested out the ecosystem. And I'm not saying that's laziness or ignorance, but sometimes you have to go down the rabbit holes and try things, and then you really understand what you're investing in, and it might even make you more bullish on your investment or give you more confidence or conviction. And it's like I say, just like the Raydium, say you had 200 US dollars, you could buy 147 Sol. You could go on here, you could probably buy the Jupe token, or you could buy yourself some Fart coin there. It's got meme coins. Like I say, it's finding these rates from different places. So for that one, it's finding it on Jupiter. But if you was to pick another coin, like say if I went down and bought Raydium, it's finding it on Metis. It's finding different prices from different platforms here, like and that's what Jupiter does, But you've also got, you can do perp trading on here. You can go long and short. Well, there's many other features on there. So yeah, really recommend you check out Jupiter and Raydium. So Raydium versus Jupiter. Um, Raydium is a liquidity source. Users can trade on it directly, and Jupiter is a price optimizer. Users get routed through it for the best route. So basically, Raydium provides liquidity. Jupiter finds you the best deals across Solana. Both are crucial pieces for Solana's DeFi, each filling to a different role. And looking at Jupiter's token, JUP, currently sitting at 39 cents with a 1.13 billion market cap, 3.98 billion fully diluted value, and a total supply of 6.99 billion dupe. Its max supply is 10 billion dupe, and the circulating supply is 2.84 billion dupe. So around about just under 30% of the max supply is out there. Plenty of unlocks, but also plenty of airdrops. Now, I held a small bag of this when it first came out. I saw it drop around 50-60%. I think, don't know whether that was the last cycle or I'm not sure when exactly that was, but when I saw it come down, I was like, yep, I'm going to buy some of that. And I think it was here, I think this missing some of the history of this chart. So I think it was around here, and it dropped down to about 50 cents. And I was like, right, Jupiter is a great DApp, and it's just dumped from launch massively. It's down 50-60% from like over $1. Let's get in. So I got in, I saw a massive run up here. Now, didn't take profits, been holding it because I can see this having bigger potential. Why do I want to buy something at 50 cents and sell it for 170? I'm holding out for the long term on this. And then what's better is because I used Phantom Wallet a lot, and we're going to talk about Phantom Wallet later, because I used Jupiter through Phantom for trading, could be buying meme coins, some other altcoins on Solana, etc. I've qualified for a significant airdrop on Jupiter. So now my bag of Jupiter is bigger, and that's something you should always look at as well. If you're invested in these coins, play around with the dApps that they're built on or that they support, and you never know, you might get yourself some airdrops. So like I say, there's lots of unlocks, more airdrops to come, but like I say, the fundamentals behind this, it's worth a small bet on that one for sure. I wouldn't say a big party portfolio, but I'd say, if you're having a mixed bag of Solana altcoins, Jupiter's definitely got what be one you're looking at. So looking at the chart for Jupiter, you can see it's held this 33-cent level, and it's starting to climb up, but there's no guarantee this ain't going lower. It's still, lower lows, lower highs, until you can see this start to break structure. And let's add the EMAs on there. Yeah, unless you can start to see some of these EMAs turn up, I would, hold off by, going too heavy on this. If you want a DCA down here, perfect. But, you've just got to make sure you're risk managed, diversify at all times in crypto. So don't go all in on this here. But like I say, look for signs of strength to climb back up. Like I said, I believe this is a very strong project with a good future ahead of it. And maybe even just go on Jupiter and play around and do some trades on there. And you never know, you might qualify for an airdrop. And you can go on to the airdrop page on the Jupe website, and you can find out how you can qualify. So once again, my conclusion is and has been to hold both. I did have a bigger position in Raydium, as I could see it was a key part of trading and token launches on platforms such as Pump.fun, Raydium's own newly released launch lab, which I believe will play a big part in the next meme season. And yes, of course, there will be another meme season. Who knows, possibly bigger than we've seen, as each time meme coins are trending. It's always bigger and more insane than the time previously. So I believe there could be and will be another meme season coming out. Of course, it would not be fair to talk about these DEXs and trading tokens on Solana without mentioning Phantom Wallet. Look at it as a browser extension or a mobile app that lets you swap, store, send, and receive crypto. You can use it to connect Solana apps like NFT marketplaces, DeFi platforms, or games. It supports the Sol tokens, NFTs, and even staking, all in one clean, easy to use interface. Think of it as your gateway to the Solana ecosystem, fast, user friendly, and made for everyday use. If you haven't tried it yet, go and download it and give it a go. Also, it also works with Coinbase's Layer 2 base and now Sui 2. It will have new blockchain Monad integration too when it launches on mainnet this year. So I think it's the best multi-chain ledger supporting wallet there is. Yeah, ledger support as well. Make note of that. So, and make note to use your ledger with this. Yeah, if you've just got your funds on there as a hot wallet, which means you've just downloaded it on your mobile, your funds are not as safe if you're using it with a ledger hardware device. It goes without saying. By all means, trade some meme coins on your mobile and play with small money on there without it linked to a ledger. But I strongly suggest all your main portfolio, your bulk of your portfolio, even if you buy Phantom and use Phantom to initially build up some coins and then make sure you move them off to your ledger. I will have some upcoming feature videos on these chains such as Base, Sui, and others, and some tutorials on how to use these wallets, DEXs. So you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Stay locked in for those. So on to some other interesting projects built on Solana. We've still got Jito, Wormhole, Drift, and Pyth to cover. Jito is a project on Solana that helps make the network more efficient and rewards stakers more fairly. When people stake Sol, basically lock it up to help run the network, they earn rewards. Normally, only some validators benefit from MEV, which means extra points for ordering transactions cleverly. Jito fixes that by making MEV more transparent and sharing those rewards with everyday staking. What it offers? A liquid staking token called Jito Sol. You earn staking rewards while still being able to use your Sol in DeFi. More earnings for stakers by capturing and redistributing MEV. Basically, Jito boosts rewards for Sol stakers and makes Solana more efficient by unlocking hidden profits in how transactions are ordered. So here you can see, there's a total value locked of 17.3 million Sol on here, and it's giving out an APY of 7.96%. Yeah, and it's got 174,000 holders. Yeah, so you just go on here if you wanted to use it. You've got your stake. You want to receive Jito Sol. You can stake your Sol. You earn 7.96%, and then you've still got your liquid staking token, Jito Sol, which you can use in other DeFi protocols. And this is the benefits of liquid staking. And if you want to unstake it, you can just go on here, and I'm sure there's a period of unlocking it. You'll get your Sol back, so you can earn yield on your Sol. And that's the basics of DeFi. So the Jito token is currently sitting at 164 with a market cap of 523 million. It's got a fully diluted value of 1.64 billion. Total supply is almost a billion JTO, and its circulating supply is 318 million JTO. So roughly just over 30-something% of its tokens are circulating, meaning there will be unlocks. But looking at the price, let's move on to the chart. Actually, that might be better. Some might call that a bull flag. Some people could say that's just an accumulation zone. The bears might call it distribution. But I would say where it was a newly launched token, and it's been, back in 2023 it was new. But since then it's been holding this range, not really going anywhere. It's waiting for an alt season to break out of this 439 level. It's been down at this 140 level. So it's between 140 and 440. It's been going up and down, up and down. And it's held there again, and it's tapped that level perfectly. And now it's holding a few weeks now here above. So all depends on what goes on with the markets in the coming weeks. But if we start to see this now moving up again, maybe third time lucky or fourth time lucky here at breaking this level, But then once that happens, I mean, like I said to you, what did we say the market cap was? Just a 500 million market cap, which is quite low for the amount of volume staked. The TVL that this is producing for Solana is phenomenal. And, if it breaks through there, sky's the limit, to the moon, baby. And, moving on. Next, we have Wormhole. Now, Wormhole is like a bridge that connects Solana to other blockchains. Imagine Solana is one island and Ethereum is another. Wormhole lets you send tokens or data between those islands safely and quickly. It's how apps on Solana can talk to Ethereum, Avalanche, Cosmos, and other chains apps. So what it's used for is basically moving assets like ETH or USDC to Solana or back again, letting Solana apps interact with data or tokens from other chains. Have you ever seen how you can buy ETH or base tokens, like meme coins that are built on Ethereum or base, but you can buy like a Wormhole version of them on Solana? Well, this is how they do it via Wormhole, using this protocol. Yeah. So it powers cross-chain DeFi and NFTs and messaging. In a nutshell, Wormhole is Solana's cross-chain connection tool, making it easy to move tokens and data between blockchains. Yeah. So looking at the token, currently sitting at 7 cents with a 551 million market cap, a fully diluted value of 772 million. Its total supply is 10 billion W, max supply is 10 billion W, and current supply is 4.54 billion W. So it's just over 45% of the tokens are unlocked at the moment, and that could be why it's not had a great launch. The token launched and it's basically declined ever since. If you look at when it launched, I would say always look at this for dates and times. So it launched in April of 2024, but did it see a rally in? No, it's really not seen a rally. It's a bit of a sorry state for sore eyes here. And let's go and look at the trading view chart. So as you can see, pumped to launch. Many call this a VC-backed token. Low float, high FDV tokens. And it's like I say, it sounds like a great project. And I believe it's a great use case. But the token is not playing ball at the moment. Like I say, you'd hate to see it come all the way down here, to next to nothing. It needs to see a reversal soon. It's fighting with this level here. See these levels? You've got all of these candle closes here at where's that, roughly around 8.5 cents roughly. It's tried to give this a go a couple of times, just seen rejection again. You want to see it start climbing up above here, then you can start saying perhaps we're starting to see the early stages of a reversal. But yeah, until that happens, be careful, play safe, So was 6 cents the low? Who knows? And there will be sell pressure to get through. Early investors who aped in only to watch this go tumbling down time will tell. But it's a strong project with a good use case. We just need to see demand step in for this. So it could be a good idea if we see some strength in the chart first, reclaiming 85 cents. 8.5 cents would be good. With some EMAs, turning bullish to confirm that, Moving on to Drift. So Drift is a decentralized trading platform on Solana where you can trade crypto with leverage, all without needing to use a traditional exchange. Basically, think of Drift like a crypto trading app, but it runs entirely on the blockchain. You can go long or short assets, bet on prices going up or down, and it also lets you borrow, lend, and earn yield all from your own wallet with no middleman. This is not a centralized exchange; it's a decentralized exchange with the same features of a centralized exchange. So, meaning like I say, you can go long, short, hold spot, buy spot, sell spot, but you can do, like I say, those longs and shorts, perpetual trading. Basically, that's what it's good for. It's like a decentralized version of pro trading platforms. Letting you trade crypto with leverage, yeah. So you can go long and short with leverage on altcoins. This is a degens platform. This is a degens playground, as they say. So if you're a degenerate, you might want to go and give this a go. And if you want to have a little look at what it looks like, so if you want to go long, or you want to go short, you can do it here. You can change your leverage up here. What you got? Oh, you got like Sol Perps, 20x. See, I'm not a leverage trader, so I'm not that au fait on what to do here. Yeah, you can, like I say, you can do your leverage. You can do 5x. It's giving you 5x on some, 10x on other coins. 10x on XRP. I mean, you can do this on Binance. So, but like I say, it'd be more interesting to go long on certain things that they might not have on your central exchanges. But like I say, it's not only that; it's the fact that you are going long or short on a DEX. No middleman. This is not centralized. So that's the key part of it. So looking at the Drift token, 50 cents at time of recording, 150 million market cap, 509 million fully diluted value, total supply of tokens, 1 billion Drift, with a circulating supply of 296 million Drift. So roughly just under 30% of the supply is out. And this one, I mean, look, it looks terrible there. If you look at it on a year, it's still up 400% on the year. I remember I got in somewhere around here or here, and I saw this spike up, this pump, that week or two that it just had that run up, was just mental. But then it's just come right back down again. So possibly a good time to accumulate. Let's look at the chart. So yeah, I mean, it's holding this support level. I mean, look at these pumps. When this thing pumps, it pumps hard. Look at that. Pump, pump. There you go. Hopefully we're going to get a third one up there. But like I say, holding that support level, it's come down to this a number of times now, and it's held it. But like I say, I'd like to see a reversal pattern come in. Start to try and take on this level of 70 cents, start to get some EMAs turning bullish, and that would be a good sign. But at the moment, technically, it's higher lows. Technically, it's higher highs. This thing could just, moon off. And no, it's looking all right for Drift. We'll see how the conditions for the markets are in the coming weeks. And last but not least, one of my favorite projects, which is not strictly Solana based, it's more of an oracle for some of the newer, faster chains such as Solana, Sui, and Aptos, etc. And this is Pyth. So basically, Pyth is a data feed system that delivers real-time prices to apps on the blockchain, especially on Solana. Imagine a DeFi app needs to know the current price of Bitcoin or Ethereum. Pyth gets that data directly from big exchanges and trading firms and sends it on chain. This helps with DeFi platforms and helps them to know what things are worth. So trades and loans and liquidations happen at fair and accurate prices. So it's used for powering price feeds for DeFi protocols like Drift, Margin Fire, and many others, and supports prices for crypto stocks, Forex, commodities, and builds to be fast and accurate, perfect for high-speed chains like Solana. So Pyth brings real-world prices to the blockchain, helping DeFi apps know the true value of the assets in real time. And a newer and super interesting part about what Pyth does is not only just feeds data into blockchains, but it also feeds data out of blockchains. Pyth now also feeds blockchain pricing into the real world, including platforms like TradingView. So next time you're looking for altcoins on TradingView, if you see or notice the Pyth symbol next to the chart that you're looking for, like say you're looking for, I don't know, Raydium, and then you see there's one for It will say TradingView Crypto. There'll be the Binance one. There'll be the Coinbase one or whatever, and then you'll see one for Pyth. So Pyth's actually providing a lot of chart data, particularly for charts that of coins that are they're on the DeFi network of trading for the said blockchain, but they're not yet on a SEX. They're not on a Binance or a KuCoin or a Coinbase yet. So, like, it's great that you can get that data into TradingView. So, in simple terms, normally Pyth brings real world prices like BTC stocks, Forex into blockchains, but now it's also sending on-chain price data like prices for Drift or Jupiter on Solana out to tools like TradingView. This means traders and analysts can see DeFi and on-chain markets like Solana right next to centralized markets. It helps bridge the gap between traditional finance and DeFi. And yeah, let's look at the token. So Pyth is at 14 cents at time of recording, and its market cap is 507 million. It's got a fully diluted value of 1.4 billion. Its total supply is 9.9 billion, and maximum supply of 10 billion. Circulating supply is 3.6 billion. So there you go, about 36%. Are we starting to see a common theme here between a lot of these big coins that are built on a chain that started in 2020, 2021, where it got its first growth curve? And as we start heading into its second growth curve, it's Solana's really, it's its second cycle, and you're starting to see a lot of these big money dApps getting built and protocols get using Solana. And a lot of these tokens, quite newly released, they're holding back a lot of token unlocks. So that a lot of people get bearish about those token unlocks, but like, these are new projects. This is the way they run. This is their business model. Yeah, they need to hold back runway. Yeah, a project needs to have runway, meaning it needs to have capital to run for a certain number of years, so it doesn't go bankrupt. So they do this they allocate tokens to the team, allocate tokens to early investors, and everything like that, so that they can sustain themselves. I'm not justifying that every tokenomics for every project like this is correct. Maybe they have been a little bit, trying to hold back a lot of the supply, and eventually it will get dumped on the market. But hopefully they stick to their vesting schedules, which I believe they have to through the technology. It has to run and unlock tokens stage by stage as agreed in their white paper. And so when you look at a token like this, and let's see where it is right now. So it's been up at just over $1, and it's currently down at 14 cents. Let's go and look at the chart. So, like I say, it's been up as high as actually 115, and you're currently looking at it. It's been down as low as 10 cents. Yeah. Like I say, you'd like to see this trend get broken. It seems a long way from it because of such a steep decline it's had. But like I say, this level is got no historical level here. You'd want to see it hold this. So similar to the last couple that we've looked at, really, the new projects for this cycle, they've been hit so hard. If, like me, you believe in the fundamentals of a certain project and the cycle playing out, these are the type of tokens that could reap fantastic returns. Then the question you would ask yourself is, do you start DCAing potentially into a falling knife? Yeah. Or have these projects bottomed and these are great entries? You always have to look at the option. And I would advise, if you want to use less risk, to monitor and wait for signs of strength and the reversals to be confirmed as higher probability that they are going up before you take the plunge. But like I say, could be a good opportunity to DCA. If you get it here and it goes back down here, you could maybe add. If you get another level down, maybe you add, because you have to ask yourself, is Pyth sticking around? Is it going to be here for the next leg up or the next run up of the cycle? then well, it ain't going anywhere. No, it's a legit project. It's got a great team behind it, and I would advise actually you go to YouTube and do some research about the team, because yeah, they're very smart guys. They're really getting involved in the whole market, building great networking and partnerships. And I can see this project is sticking around. So, like I say, does it start moving up here like this straight away? Then gets rejected, comes down, back up, retest, go? Or, does it start moving around down here, build a bit of a range, and then go up? Who knows? Who knows? But like I say, mate, if you want to wait for a bit of strength, I would totally understand that. If you want a DCA in it, I would totally understand that too, but not financial advice. Well, that's my first deep dive into the Solana ecosystem. I hope you've learned something with me. And if you've liked and subscribed, I'll see you on the next one. And if you have a moment, leave me some feedback below. Invest in your knowledge and invest well. See you soon.